Hello, I'm Megan Lovely. I'm with City Communications. With me is Allison Fletcher with Nelson Nygaard and Tia Ramont with the City of Wichita Transit Department. Tia, could you tell us your title and a little bit about what you do?
Sure. My title is Senior Management Analyst, but I'm really a licensed engineer and I've got a master's in urban and regional planning.
Wow.
So I work as a transportation planner for the City of Wichita.
That's really cool. And Allison, could you tell us your title and what you do?
Sure. I'm a principal with Nelson Nygaard. We are a transportation planning consulting firm, and so I work on downtown plans across the country. Thank you.
That's really great. Nelson Nygaard is a national expert. Like she said, they've worked with downtown street systems across the U.S. In the past 5 years, I think they've worked for similar systems for Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Rogers, Arkansas. On Tuesday, the council will look at approving a new downtown streets conceptual plan. It's a blueprint for improving downtown Wichita by changing how the street space is used. The origins of the plan came from the Project Downtown Master Plan, adopted in 2010, which emphasized the way transportation and land use are linked. The ideas were driven by about 2 years of extensive, multifaceted community engagement. And it was aimed at creating a more inviting, reinvigorated downtown, the heart of region committed to the vital future, is what we like to say. So,
Yes, it is.
yes. So its goal is to achieve both land use and transportation improvements, working together to create a defined downtown space where people want to live, work, shop, play, and learn. So, Allison, I'm going to start with you. When did the first Downtown Streets conceptual plan begin? Could you talk about just kicking it off?
Sure. So, yeah, building off the history that you were talking about, Project Downtown was finished in 2010. In 2018, this plan was authorized to get going. There was a selection process. The funding for it was approved. And in late 2018, it was contracted. In early 2019, that planning process began with a goal settings workshop on the ground in Wichita. The public outreach process was really robust. There were over 24 public-facing events that happened during this project. There were direct mailers, there was postcards, there were online events, there were online surveys, there was postering. We even had a virtual workshop at one point that had a parallel workshop in person. There were ongoing stakeholder meetings. There were pop-ups at festivals such as the Open Streets event in downtown. And they were generally 4 major workshops that happened in person with the community, aligning with people were downtown.
That's great. And Tia, maybe you can kick us off on this one. And Allison, if you have anything else, feel free to jump in. But what are some of the goals of the plan?
It really is about making downtown a more vibrant and welcoming space for both people who work and live here and for visitors. We wish to continue to prioritize transportation options in the downtown core. We wish to improve the safety of all mobility choices in the downtown core. We want to foster economic development and really embrace safety and health as a philosophy for downtown Wichita.
That's really great. Allison, you have anything you want to add to that?
Just that this is about, making sure that the street system is aligned with where downtown is today and where it wants to be in its future, and really embracing that.
It's really great. What are some of the changes that we're looking out for downtown streets?
There are 3 phases to this project. And the first phase are really the priority projects identified in the plan, and they are taking the large one-way streets that run north-south primarily in downtown Wichita and converting them to 2-way streets. And I think Allison speaks to this beautifully, if you don't mind me bringing her into this conversation. But it really will provide better predictability and make downtown more navigable for everybody. So.
I'm sure there's many people who probably had the experience of going the wrong way down the wrong street, even amongst locals. We see this in many downtowns. So to make a more inviting downtown, many downtowns are looking at converting one-way streets to 2-way streets. This has so many benefits. You've already seen something like this with what you did with Emporia recently. There was a lot of stakeholder support in what happened there. This reduces and lowers the speeding that happens on a street, especially dangerous speeding that can lead to more dangerous crashes. It provides more direct access and intuitive navigation to get to downtown destinations, to get from them. It provides a more predictable environment for those that might be walking and biking. And everybody that parks in downtown or takes transit in the downtown also walks at some point. So it kind of supports both systems. And increases the visibility. You have double the visibility of people going down given streets. All of these things are designed to bring about also just general better walkability within the downtown and making downtown very human scaled for the people that live there.
Very much so. I was driving home from City Hall last night and someone turned the wrong way and there was a one-way street and they're signaling to the other cars that they're facing, which way do I go? So we were doing this yesterday. I was like, this is a perfect example.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we're doing this. So obviously the city has made not only a time commitment, but we're making a financial commitment. What is the investment from the city into this plan?
Oh my goodness, to date or moving forward?
Either.
Well, we hope for adoption on Tuesday. There's always a question, whether that will happen. To date, this was originally funded with WAMPO money, so it's a federal grant. And there was a local share portion. I believe it was $70,000 or $90,000. I don't recall which.
Great. And I think we've allocated in the CIP some funds for this too, about $17.4 million over the next 10 years.
Correct. And that would be to refine some of the design elements in this.
Yeah.
And none of this is designed. I want to stress this is very much a conceptual plan where we looked at the road widths and we looked at the capacity of the roadway versus how it's actually used, the volumes that are currently there for traffic and pedestrians.
Yeah.
And we said, this is possible. So really it needs to go to engineering for final design.
Sure.
And then the first wave of implementation would not be to move curb lines or do anything fancy. It's really paint and on the roads for striping and signals.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good. All right, so do we have any specifics of what we might see in the near term for this project?
Yes, we have a lot of specifics. And I'll be happy to read if you don't mind.
Sure,
I want to make sure I get it right.
Yeah.
The streets that will be converted from one-way to two-way, meaning they would have one travel lane in each direction, would be Market Street to Topeka Street. Main Street would be converted from one-way to two-way with 2 lanes in each direction. And English would be converted from a 2-lane one-way street to a two-way street with 1 lane in each direction.
All right. We've seen this before. I think residents have seen this with Emporia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was exciting. Back in, I think it was 2020, Allison. It was before I was working for the city of Wichita. Would you mind sharing a little bit? I believe that was in conjunction with the Economic Development Office, Emporia.
Yeah, that was an example of, this early implementation that's possible. These are, in the relative scheme of things that can be done, changing striping and signals can go pretty quickly. And so that was a sign of the investment coming from the stakeholders, taking something as part of a concept we had in this plan, taking it to engineering very quickly, to get that proof of concept on the ground very quickly, and then there'll be post-evaluation, there will be tweaks with that. So this plan really, as an example, that's a proof of concept of this is cementing the community vision that came together with all the stakeholders and the thousands of people that were informed through this process. And then each project itself will have a chance for people to engage as it goes to design and before it gets on the ground, just in a way as it did with Emporia.
Yeah, I remember when we launched that, the morning that it launched, we did like a little press conference, and all of these business owners came down and were really supportive and excited and to see that happen.
I presented this plan to downtown Wichita, and I have to say the energy in the room, they just absolutely loved hearing about these conversions.
I love that. That's great. All right, so sum it up for me. This is for either one of you. What is the goal, the overall goal of the Downtown Streets Plan?
It's to make downtown more vibrant for the future. If I had to summarize it, Allison, how would you? She's been
I would add that
since the beginning.
I think a key word is safety. I mean, we were even seeing this week in the news with how much investment's coming at the federal level. There's so many opportunities for cities to take advantage of all the money that's flowing down to localities for improving safety. The message of what's happening with streets is kind of going in the opposite direction. You've seen that in the crash statistics. There's a Vision Zero study going on, but safety is often by design. And so there's a lot of different aspects that are going into the principles of what we've been trying to do with this to bring about that safety. And it's also, I think the other big keyword is about having options in the downtown. You can continue to drive to downtown. You can drive within, but maybe you think of traveling on a different way on some days, or maybe you park your car and you walk to another destination. Having this layer of options adds to the richness and the uniqueness that you might have a different experience each time you come to the downtown.
I love that. So vibrancy and safety. Yeah. So thank you both for joining us. Like Tia said, the council will take this up on Tuesday, February 7th, and if adopted, we'll come out with more information. So thank you all for watching.
Thank you.